So we're taking on the Indiana Pacers at home, and I thought it'd be a good time to talk about the Paul George injury. So for those of you who haven't heard or haven't, or pretty much all of you have heard by now, um, Paul George is going to be out for the season. He suffered that brutal leg injury during the Team USA basketball scrimmage. And if you haven't seen the clip, or if you didn't watch the game or seen the clip, I'd probably advise you not to really watch it because unless you're not really that squeamish, because it looked pretty bad. Let's just say that. I mean, it was just as bad as for those of you who know about the Kevin Ware injury from Louisville. It was just as bad as that. Well, I mean, Kevin Ware's injury, not to be as graphic, not to be too graphic or anything, but that injury, the bone was actually kind of sticking out. That's like a little, or maybe a lot. I can't really remember too much, but yeah, I mean, it was. Let's just say it was almost just as bad. Um, but yeah, so George's injury, he's gonna be out for pretty much all of next year. He was trying to contest that layup. He tried to contest a layup from James Harden during the scrimmage, and he just landed awkwardly underneath the basket on the stanchion. Uh, and that basket was actually pretty close to pretty close to the court too, or the stanchion rather. I think it was not even. I think it was more close to an NBA regulated basket. So that's something of an issue that I think whoever the Vegas court owners or whatever. That's why I don't think Las Vegas doesn't even have a basketball team because the way they set up their arena and court, it's just not like safe, at least NBA properly safe at the moment. So until they fix that, I don't know if Las Vegas will ever have an NBA team anytime soon. I mean, I think they did host an all. Did they hold an All-Star game? I'm not too sure, but yeah. So George is going to be out. I mean, I mean, for Team USA in general, I don't think it's going to be too much of a setback. Even though they do lose one of like their swingmen since they don't have too many of those and too many of those positions right now. Um, well, actually, they do have quite a bit, but he was their best perimeter defender, and they don't. Let's just say they don't have the best perimeter defenders after George. So, but I still think Team USA is pretty much the favorite going into the FIBA tournament. Spain could give them a good run for their money since they still have both the Gasols, but I think USA just has enough firepower to overcome that. Although it's still also be kind of tough though, because from recent news, Kevin Durant has withdrawn from Team USA. So now it makes it even more tough. And the reason he stated that he had to withdraw from the team was because of physical and mental fatigue from just playing too much basketball. And I can understand that from his point of view. I mean, when you're consistently playing basketball, especially when you're making deep playoff runs through May and almost till June, it's gonna take a toll on you. And he really plays basketball almost nonstop. I mean, even during the off season, he'll even post like random clips like on Instagram or Facebook, just him just shooting the basketball. So he really does love the game so much that he'll play like almost every day, and it's just really getting to the point where he just can't handle that fatigue. He's just getting too tired now. But to be honest, I feel like one of the main reasons he did leave the team was because of the Paul George injury. He was actually getting to know George quite well. I mean, I'm not sure if they were like pretty good friends before the whole USA scrimmage or before the whole Team USA thing in general, but they were actually getting along quite well. Especially like after practices with James Harden going one on one against each other just for fun, and they were actually praising each other through social media. So they actually seemed to be like a really good friend to KD, and then he had to witness that Paul George injury right in front of his own eyes while he was on the court. That had to at least like mess him up like psychologically. I mean, he probably just did not want to deal with that, or he just didn't want to suffer that same setback that George had. I mean, it's risky to play during the off season like at least competitive basketball wise, because you don't know if you're gonna come out with like an injury like George did, as serious as that. I mean, to be honest, that George injury, that was pretty fluky. I mean, it's highly unlikely you're gonna see an injury like that very often, or like once every year. I don't know. I mean, it's just very rare, and it was just a freak accident. So it's really hard to control. Can't really do too much about it, but I don't know. George probably should not have really tried to contest that layup. I mean, it was just a scrimmage. I know you're trying to play competitive basketball, but during a scrimmage, I don't think you need to do that. But but just in general, I really wish for a speedy recovery for him, as he is one of my favorite players. I mean, I really like the guy, and hopefully he'll come back stronger, just like D Rose did. Especially since D Rose looked like he looked better than ever during that scrimmage. But anyways, as you can see, we actually took down the Pacers pretty handily. They never even got the lead in this game. So good win for us as we beat one of the top teams in the East.